I'm going to read a poem called Start Out, which was an experiment inspired in part by a poem by Paul Muldoon called They That Wash on Thursday, in which the last word of every line was hands. And I loved that he turned over this word multiple times in multiple ways to see what it might mean in different phrases and in different sentences. So I decided to try something similar with the word out. It's a poem that thinks about and in fact addresses my father, who was assistant governor in the Maze prison. He was murdered outside our home in Belfast in 1984 when I was 3.5. And for some years now, I've been trying to think through that event and the aftermath of that event. So this poem speaks to that and to the historical context around it. Start out. It's not the thought of being hoiked out with tongs that bothers me. It's the fact you're out and out unsure. The facts you can't or won't spell out. The age I was, they must have knocked me out and hauled you out with forceps. It comes out over tea and scones, an out-of-date current pinched in thumb and forefinger as out the story comes, quite out of the blue. I was out of action for a while, of course, but better to be out of danger than in them stirrups, your legs outflung and all akimbo. You'd have to be out of your mind. At 40, I wanted out of harm's way, so I didn't push you out. The cons, as they say, outweighed the pros. Or was it the other way? Them lifting you out? Is that the risky bit? I can't figure it out. Not at my age. The days, they merge. Out goes the light, and you wake up to another. Soon I'll be out of this world for good, over and out. Like a Fox Rock wife or mouth straight out of Beckett via Belfast, this imagined mother reads out her lines before I catch myself at it and the thing gets out of hand. The monologue outsourced from here or there like the one with all the hands, singled out for praise by those in the know. So, out with it, I suppose. It's the Longkesh breakout I've been thinking of and all that came before and after, time out of mind. The faces looking back at you when you look out, the people, the blankets handed out, the breakfasts measured out, the returned counted out, the spray gun painting Brits out, the spray gun painting Teagues out, the insides painted out, POs and SOs out of their depth, so out on sick leave, in or out of the cell, all under one roof and all hung out to dry as the reruns loop out over the airwaves. Crime is crime is crime until it cuts out. The brick, it hits the radio full whack, knockout. Did you think about getting out? I don't know why you stuck it out or started it at all. And when those men came out of the house across the way, guns out and up the drive, what words fell out of your mouth before you couldn't get them out? I never quite came out. The umpire calls it outside the line. The Wimbledon camera zooms out. The connection has timed out. Theseus spins it out, the yarn he tells about that clue and catching out the beast, howling out in pain, as though he'd first sketched it out. Ariadne knows the thing that holds it all can't quite be straightened out.